Hello guys, welcome to Apple Questions Explained, and today we're going to explore the history of the PowerMacs. Make sure you subscribe so that you can watch more content and many unanswered questions regarding Apple. So without any further ado, let's start. So you might be wondering, why did Apple make the Power Mac? So the Power Mac or the Power Macintosh line was created by Apple in the early 1990s as a response to the increasing demand for high performance personal computers for creative professionals such as graphic designers, video editors, and musicians. At the time, the dominant architecture for personal computers was used on Intel's x86 processors, which used the x86 architecture. However, Apple saw an opportunity to differentiate itself by using a different processor architecture, the PowerPC, which was developed jointly by Apple, IBM, and Motorola. The PowerPC architecture was designed to offer high performance and low power consumption, which it did to some extent in that time, making it well suited for use in desktop computers. So the Power Macintosh line was introduced in 1994 as a replacement for Apple's aging Macintosh 2 series, and it quickly became popular among creative professionals who needed powerful computing capabilities. The Power Macs or the Power Macintosh line offered faster processors, larger amounts of memory, and better graphics capabilities than the previous Macintosh 2 models. And Apple continued to innovate and improve the Power Macintosh line over the years, adding features such as PCI expansion slots, faster processors, better graphic cards. And one more good thing about these, Power Macs is that they have a high level of upgradability, so they could be used a decade long. But now it is not true to today's generation. That is a thing that needs to be kept in mind before buying these things. And by the early 2000s, the Power Macintosh or the Power Macs had become a staple of the creative professional market and was widely used in industries such as graphic design, video production, and music production. And in summary, the Power Macintosh line or the Power Mac line wa- was created to meet the needs of creative professionals who needed high level of performance in desktop computers for their work. By using the PowerPC processor architecture, Apple was able to offer a unique alternative to the dominant x86 architecture used in Intel processors and establish itself as the leader in the personal computer industry in the time where the PowerPC reigned from 1994 to 2006, when it was replaced by the Intel processors Mac Pro. And now you might be wondering, you might have a doubt that what was Apple's stage in the personal computer industry when the Power Mac was introduced. Now, when the Power Mac was introduced in 1994, Apple was in a period of transition, and throughout the 1980s, Apple had been a dominant player in the personal computer industry thanks to the success of the Apple II and partial success of the Macintosh in 1985. However, by the early 1990s, Apple was facing increased competition from other PC manufacturers, and its market share was declining it because it failed to replicate the Apple II's success and the simplicity, upgradability that the Apple II offered. So Apple's market share was slowly declining to the stage that where they were getting bankrupt. Apple was also experiencing internal turmoil with the oyster of founder Steve Jobs in 1985 and several changes in the leadership in the following years. This led to a lack of focus and direction of the team, which reflected in its product line. By the 1990s, mid 1990s, Apple was struggling financially and was in need of a turnaround because there were literally 80 different models of the Macintosh that even the sales officials in Apple couldn't understand which product was for which market. So this was the problem Apple faced at that point. So the introduction of the Power Mac line or the Power Macintosh line was part of a broader strategy to revitalize the company and regain market share. Apple hoped that the Power Macintosh or the Power Macs, with its advanced technology and high performance would appeal to creative professionals and help differentiate Apple from its competitors. In 1997, Steve Jobs returned to Apple as CEO, of course, and began a major restructuring of the company. This included streamlining the product line and cutting costs and focusing on innovation and design. As I told you, there were 18 different Macintosh models that even Apple's own sales officials couldn't understand which product was for which category. So, under Jobs' leadership, with this new approach of cutting costs, focusing on innovation, design, and user experience, Apple launched several successful and revolutionary products like the iMac, the iPod, and later the iPhone and iPad. In summary, when the Power Mac was introduced, Apple was in the period of transition and facing financial challenges and were on the brink of bankruptcy. But it was a part of a broader strategy to revitalize the company and regain market share, and it was introduced as a prosumer's desktop in the quad matrix strategy adopted by Apple in 1998. Now let's explore the various models of the Power Mac or the Power Macintosh. So first of all, when was it introduced? When was it discontinued? So for the Power Macintosh or the Power Mac was introduced in 1994 and discontinued in 2006 when Apple transitioned to using Intel processors in its computers, and the name turned to Mac Pro. And I've made a video on the history of the Mac Pro and what leaks tell us about the future of the Mac Pro. So please check the link in the description below if you are interested in watching it. So the first Power Mac or the Power Macintosh was the Power Macintosh 6100, introduced in March 1994. It was powered by a 60 megahertz PowerPC 601 processor and had 8 megabytes of memory or RAM and a 250 megabyte hard drive and a CD-ROM drive. It was designed to replace the Macintosh LLVX or 2VX and Performance 600 series. Over the years, the Power Macintosh line saw many upgrades and improvements. In 1995, one such improvement was Apple introduced the Power Macintosh 9500, which was the first Power Mac to support up to 1 gigabyte of RAM or memory. The Power Macintosh 9600, which was introduced in 1997, was the first Power Mac to include a PCI bus and an optional 233 megahertz PowerPC 604E processor. And in 1999, Apple introduced the Power Macintosh G4, which featured a new design, just like the cheese grater Mac Pro, and was powered by the Motorola PowerPC G4 processor. The G4 also included a new graphics card, the ATI Radeon, which was capable of displaying millions of colors. Because in 1999, it was not common to see the a computer displaying a lot of colors because they were still using N. Uh, they were still using LCDs, which was black and white. It was not yet a matrix display matrix, so it was a real good one to have a computer displaying millions of colors. And now in 2003, the last Power Mac was introduced. It was the Power Macintosh G5, which was powered by IBM PowerPC G5 processor. The G5 was available in single, dual, and quad core processor configurations, and was the first 64-bit desktop computer. The Power Macintosh line was discontinued in 2006 when Apple transitioned to using Intel processors in its computers, and the Power Mac was replaced by the Mac Pro, which we know now, which used Intel's Xeon processors and a new design. Overall, the Power Macintosh line played a very, very important role in Apple's history and helped establish the company as a leader in the personal computer industry. So that's all for the video, guys. Thanks for watching till the end. Please make sure you subscribe so that you can watch more content and many unanswered questions regarding Apple. And don't forget to read the summary of this video in the description below, because first time in my videos I have inserted a summary for you to have a a short note on what is being told in the whole video. So please don't forget to look, and I'll meet you in the next video.